If you're over 60 and you've been feeling a little stiffer, a little slower, or just not as strong as you used to be, I want you to listen closely, because there are 5 exercises that most people your age ignore, avoid, or simply don't know about, and they're the very ones that keep you moving, keep you balanced, keep you strong, and honestly, keep you independent. And here's the truth. You don't realize you should have been doing them until it's too late. I don't want you to reach that point. I want you to feel strong, confident, stable, and capable, not just today but 5, 10, or 15 years from now. Because the biggest regret people over 60 tell me isn't, I should have worked out more. It's, I should have done the right exercises earlier. And today, I'm going to give you those exact exercises, the ones that truly matter, the ones your body will thank you for. So stay with me because by the end of this video, you won't just know what they are, you'll know exactly why they work, how to do them safely, and how they can transform your strength, mobility, balance, and daily energy. Now, before we jump in, let me ask you a simple question. When was the last time you did something specifically to protect your mobility? Not your strength, not your steps. Your mobility, the thing that lets you get out of a chair without effort, turn your neck while driving, put on your shoes without holding your breath, and walk upstairs without gripping the rail. Most people don't train this. And the first exercise you'll regret ignoring is something so simple, so effective, and yet so overlooked that when people finally try it at 60, they say, "Why didn't someone tell me this at 40? It's the hip hinge. Yes, the basic hip hinge, but before you roll your eyes, listen to this. The hip hinge is the foundation of almost every movement you do in your daily life. It's how you bend over without hurting your back, how you get up from the floor, how you pick up groceries, and how you protect your spine when you lift anything heavier than a pillow. And as we age, most people stop bending from the hips and start bending from the back. That's how back pain starts. That's how discs get irritated. That's how people suddenly say, "I don't know what happened, I just bent over and something snapped." The proper hip hinge trains your glutes, your hamstrings, your lower back, and your core all at once. When you master this movement, your entire body feels lighter and more stable. I've seen people gain their confidence back just from learning to hinge correctly. The movement is so simple: feet shoulder width apart, soft knees, push your hips back like you're trying to close a car door with your backside, keep your chest tall, and go as low as you comfortably can. Do it slowly. Do it deliberately. Do it daily. And if there's one exercise you'll look back on and say, "I'm so glad I started this," it's this one. The second exercise people over 60 regret ignoring is step-ups. Yes, simple step-ups. Not the fancy gym machine, not those impossible high jumps, just stepping up onto a stable platform, a stair, or a low bench. And here's why this movement is crucial. It directly trains the muscles you use when climbing stairs, but also the muscles that keep you from falling. Step-ups strengthen your quadriceps, your glutes, your calves, and your stabilizing muscles. They improve single-leg balance. They train your heart without the joint impact of running. And step-ups mimic real life more than almost any other exercise. Every time I hear someone say, "My legs feel weak, stairs have become harder," or "I feel unsteady when I step onto something," it's almost always because they stopped training single-leg strength. When you do step-ups regularly, something amazing happens. Walking becomes easier, standing becomes effortless, and rising from a low seat no longer feels like a struggle. And the best part? You don't need weights. You don't need a gym. You don't need expensive equipment. You just need a step. Start slow. Hold on to something if you need to. And do it consistently. Years from now, your knees, your hips, your heart, and your balance will thank you for building this habit. Now, the third exercise, this one is a game changer. Most people over 60 never do it, and yet it's the single best movement for preventing falls. It's not balance practice on a wobble board. It's not standing on one leg. It's actually the opposite. It's anti-rotation training. And the simplest exercise to start with is the standing press out, also known as a Pallof press if you've ever used resistance bands. Here's the problem with aging. We lose rotational stability. That means if someone bumps us, if we slip a little, or if the ground shifts unexpectedly, the body rotates, gets pulled and twists, and we can't control it. That's when falls happen. But when you train the muscles that resist rotation, your obliques, your deep core, and your hips, suddenly you're stable. You're grounded. You're harder to knock off balance. Anti-rotation strength is what keeps you steady when you reach sideways, when you turn quickly, when you carry groceries only on one side, or when you walk on uneven surfaces. To do a simple press out, you just hold a band or even your hands clasped in front of your chest, stand tall, and extend your arms slowly without letting your torso twist. It might look small, but the effect on your balance is enormous. This exercise is like insurance for your body. You don't realize how important it is until you need it. And once you start doing it, you realize how much more stable and confident you feel in everyday movement. The fourth exercise is one that too many people abandon as they age, even though it's the single biggest predictor of long-term independence: getting up from the floor. Not the gym version. Not burpees. Not transitions with weights. Simply practice getting down and back up. Most people don't realize that the ability to get up from the floor is one of the strongest indicators of longevity. Doctors have tested this. Physical therapists swear by it. People who can easily get up from the floor tend to live longer, stay mobile longer, and remain independent longer. But here's the problem. Once people stop doing it, fear creeps in. They stop sitting on the floor because they worry they won't be able to get up. They stop playing with grandkids. They stop stretching on the floor. They avoid anything that requires kneeling or bending low. And then the muscles involved, the hips, the core, the legs, and the mobility of the spine, become weaker and weaker. That's why practicing this regularly is so important. Start with a cushion if you need to. Use your hands. Move slowly. There's no right or wrong technique in the beginning. The goal is simply to maintain the ability. Because there will come a time, maybe years from now, when you'll be so grateful you kept this ability. It protects your independence. It protects your confidence. And it trains nearly every muscle in your body without feeling like exercise. Now, the fifth exercise, and this is the one almost everyone neglects, is hanging. Yes, simply hanging. You don't have to do pull-ups. You don't even have to lift your feet. Just hanging from a bar, even if it's only for 5 seconds at first. And here's why this exercise is so unbelievably powerful for people over 60. Hanging decompresses your spine. It releases pressure from the vertebrae. It strengthens your grip, which is directly linked to longevity. It improves shoulder mobility and posture. It even helps your breathing because it opens up the rib cage and stretches tight muscles across the chest. And here's the thing about grip strength. It deteriorates faster than almost any other ability as we age. Once grip strength declines, everything becomes harder. Carrying groceries, opening jars, picking up heavy objects, holding onto railings, even catching yourself when you stumble. But when you practice hanging, even in tiny increments, your grip begins to strengthen almost immediately. Your shoulders begin to loosen. Your back begins to feel lighter. And your posture improves, naturally, not forced. If you can't hang with your full weight yet, start with your feet on the floor or use a low bar or even a doorway edge. Every second helps. Every attempt builds strength. And the long-term benefits? They're enormous. Years from now, your spine, shoulders, and hands will thank you for every moment you spent strengthening your body in this simple but powerful way. Now here's the surprising part. These 5 exercises, hip hinges, step-ups, anti-rotation press-outs, floor-to-stand practice, and hanging, don't require a gym. They don't require heavy weights. They don't require long workouts. They don't require fancy machines. And they don't require youth. They only require consistency. And yet they train the exact things that matter most after 60: balance, mobility, strength, coordination, joint stability, and independence. But let me tell you something I've learned from years of helping people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s improve their strength and fitness. The body doesn't decline because of age nearly as much as it declines from lack of certain movements. Most people stop bending, so their hips stiffen. They stop climbing, so their legs weaken. They stop rotating, so their balance declines. They stop sitting on the floor, so their mobility shrinks. They stop using their grip, so their hands weaken. And then they say, aging is catching up to me. But the truth is, once you reintroduce these fundamental movements, something amazing happens. You start to feel younger. You move better. You stand taller. You feel more stable. Your joints feel smoother. Your body feels alive again. Let me paint you a picture of what happens when you consistently train these 5 movements. Imagine waking up and standing up from bed without that stiff slow-motion feeling. Imagine walking upstairs without grabbing the rail. Imagine bending down to pick something up without fear that your back will tweak. Imagine getting up from the floor easily while your grandkids laugh and climb all over you. Imagine catching yourself before you fall, because your balance and reflexes are strong. Imagine feeling strong hands, strong legs, strong hips, and a strong core, not like a gym bodybuilder, but strong in the ways that matter for real life. And here's the best part, you don't need hours a day. You don't need perfection. You don't need to be athletic. All you need is the willingness to start, the willingness to try, the willingness to take your future strength seriously. Because if you're over 60, every movement you do now is an investment in your future self. And every movement you avoid becomes a regret later on. But let me tell you something even more important. Your body is still capable of incredible change. Science shows that people over 60, 70, or even 80 can build muscle, improve balance, increase mobility, and strengthen their bones. The biggest mistake people make at this age is thinking it's too late. No, it's not too late. It's just time to train smarter, not harder. And these 5 exercises are the smartest place to begin. They protect your body, strengthen the exact muscles you rely on every day, and restore movements you may have lost over the years without realizing it. The more you do them, the younger your body will feel. Here's what I want you to do. After this video, pick one of the 5 exercises and try it. Just one. Don't try all of them at once. Don't overwhelm yourself. Pick the easiest one for you. Maybe it's hip hinges. Maybe it's hanging with your feet on the floor. Maybe it's practicing getting up from the floor. Just start with one. And then tomorrow, try another one. Within a week, you'll feel the difference. Within a month, you'll move differently. Within 3 months, people will ask you what you're doing, because the improvements will show. These are not flashy exercises. They won't make you look like a bodybuilder, but they will make you strong, mobile, balanced, and independent, and that is worth more than any gym membership or fancy workout program. And before we wrap up, let me say this, your age is not your limitation, it's your advantage. People over 60 have wisdom, discipline, life experience, and a better understanding of what truly matters. You're not chasing six-pack abs or extreme workouts. You're building strength for living. You're building strength for life. And these movements? They give you exactly that. So start today. Start small. Start with confidence. Your future self will thank you. And trust me, you will never regret doing these exercises. But you might regret ignoring them. Your body deserves this. You deserve this. And I'm here to guide you every step of the way.